Okay, next question. What do mental health services look like for students under 14? For students under 14, you are still able to access mental health services through the school-based health center, but it looks a little bit different. The law allows you to receive confidential services for 2 weeks for emergency situations or for assessment, but then it requires parental notification if services extend beyond that. Basically what that means is that if you're going to receive ongoing counseling, then we would want your parents to be informed that you're receiving ongoing counseling. That doesn't mean they need to know like everything that you're saying, but just that, that you're checking in with us regularly. Sometimes, we have kids who maybe, are seen in one of the middle schools in August for a stressful event, and then again in December for a stressful event, and again in March. And we would consider each of those things like a separate event, so that would not require notification of your parents. Next question, can you talk about reproductive and sexual health services? So the school-based health centers provide reproductive and sexual health services. These can be provided confidentially or non-confidentially depending on what the student needs. Those are kind of like big fancy medical words, but basically what it means is that we see people to talk about ways to prevent getting pregnant, so things like birth control. We can talk about testing and treatment for sexually transmitted infections, things like gonorrhea and chlamydia. We can provide medication for these things, like birth control pills, condoms, arm implants, Depo-Provera shots. Sometimes people just want information, they just have questions, maybe they read something on social media and are not sure if it's true, and we are happy to kind of debunk some of those myths and provide actual information. Sometimes people are questioning kind of their own attractions or their own future plans regarding, do I want to have sex, do I not want to have sex, and would like to have a conversation about that in a place that is not providing any pressure. So these are all things that we do. Sometimes we also get people who just want to know if things are normal. So like things on their bodies, things with their thoughts or desires. Basically, the school-based health center is a safe space where it is totally okay to ask any question or bring up any issue that may be on your mind. We are not going to tell anybody anything that is going on with you, with the only exception being if you are ever not safe. If someone is, if you are living in an abusive situation, if you are being, pressured to have sex for money, that kind of thing, obviously we need to act to help you, to help keep you safe. That's part of our legal duty. But barring those very rare examples, everything we talk about is totally confidential. Confidential from your parents, confidential from your friends, and confidential from the school. So that one can be a little weird because, like in our clinic at Albuquerque High School, you have to walk right past the school nurse to come in and see us. That doesn't mean we're going to tell the school nurse what you came to see us for. And they don't make any assumptions. We do well child checks, we do immunizations. So just because you came to see us doesn't mean that you came to see us for something private. It could be anything and nobody knows. How does New Mexico consent law apply to the school-based health center? So New Mexico has a great law that protects young people age 14 to 18. It allows you to seek care of your own volition without anybody else knowing, for mental health services, so things like counseling, for substance abuse. So if you're been smoking more weed than you would like to be smoking and you want help stopping but don't maybe want your parents to know, we can talk to you and support you through that. And then it also provides privacy protections for sexual and reproductive health. So specifically, it allows you to be tested and treated for sexually transmitted infections. It allows you to provide or be provided with education and counseling around all of that. So it allows us to have visits to answer any questions you have, and it allows you to receive medications to treat or to prevent pregnancy. So this still blows my mind, even though I've been doing this job for a long time. But within our clinics, we have birth control pills, we have condoms, we have Depo-Provera, we have the implants. All of that is free, and we can give you all of that without telling your parents. We also have emergency contraception, which is a really, really great option. If maybe you used a condom and the condom broke, or you meant to use a condom but just didn't, or maybe things went further than you wanted to, and you want to make it much less likely that you get pregnant. So we have Plan B or emergency contraception pills that we are happy to give you. So we are protected by the New Mexico state law that allows us to do all of that without parents knowing. In my experience, many people want their parents to know in some ways, but maybe they're not quite sure how to have that conversation. So, we'll do these services confidentially, kind of as a bridge. Like, I want to get the implant in my arm because I think my mom would be supportive, but I'm not really ready to have that conversation with her yet. So let's do the implant now, so I'm protected while I work on telling her. That's often how that goes. Other people are never planning to tell their moms, and that's okay too. We are here to support you, whatever your family situation. How does confidentiality work within the school-based health center? So within the school-based health center, anything we talk about is confidential. Confidential from your friends, your parents, and from the school. We ask a lot of sensitive questions at the school-based health center because we want to make sure that we are taking care of anything that you need help with. So we are not asking to be nosy. We are asking to make sure that we are getting you the help that you need, and to make sure that that those things are okay to talk about. So with all of that information, it's not going to go any further than us. We're certainly not going to go back and tell the school if you tell us that you're smoking weed or whatever. We may talk about what's going on, that you're smoking more weed, and how else we could manage your stress, but we're not gonna call your parents or tell the school. The same goes for reproductive health conversations. If we're talking about birth control, or maybe you're thinking about having sex or whatever, we keep that between us. The only limitations with that are basically safety issues. If it comes up in conversation that a person is having plans for suicide, so not just thoughts about suicide, but really is planning on harming themselves or harming someone else, we have a duty to keep you safe, and so we would need to take the steps to protect you there. We also are mandated reporters regarding abuse. So if it comes up that you're living in an environment where you are being sexually, physically, emotionally abused, we would work with you to report that and take steps to get you in a safer place. Thankfully, those situations are pretty rare, and most of our conversations remain confidential. If we ever did have to break confidentiality because of safety, that would completely be a conversation between us and the student, and we would do that together. We would call your parent together. We would never go behind anyone's back and break confidentiality without talking about that first. Is there anything else I would like to share about the school-based health centers? No, I've worked at Albuquerque High School for 2 years now, and every day I feel really lucky to come to work and take care of young people. It feels like the best job ever to have the opportunity to make a difference in people's lives. If it's preventing pregnancy until you're ready to be a parent, or helping somebody get the mental health care they need, or even just listening to somebody who's having some tough relationship stuff. I think it's really important to have an adult who is just there to hear you with no agenda of their own. And I'm thankful that UNM supports us to be here. I'm thankful that APS allows us to be here, and I'm thankful that the kids come see us. So I think these school-based health centers are really awesome, and I hope that you all take advantage of it and come see us.